Hey guys, welcome to the special marathon training series on the Mike White podcast. Clark and I are planning to run a marathon at the end of 2023, so we'll be getting together every week on the podcast, discussing how our training's going and what the path is moving forward. Hope y'all enjoy. Week 14 is in the books, and I got Clark Blunt on the other line. He's just got back from California, back in Baltimore. It's like middle of the night there, so it's probably good we're recording now so you can stay awake. How's it going, Clark?
Going well. How are you?
I'm good. I enjoyed this last week. It was a nice little easy week to get back in the swing of things, and this next week will be back to normal. It looks like some 2-a-days in there. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I was planning out, so I realized I probably do need to start working now just to save up some money, and especially with the way the economy's looking, all these banks failing. So I was trying to plan out my weeks, see where I can Uber, when I'm going to work out, when I'm going to run. So I'm planning it all out, and that I don't know how you do it. Holy cow, because you're working a full-time job, and I mean I'm barely driving Uber, and the schedule seems full to me. So props to you, man.
Well, it's definitely tough. If I don't do it first thing in the morning, it's really rough. So I try to make sure that I do that. This week actually with the travel and everything, I've been having some pretty serious pain in my side. And for a little while I thought it was my kidneys. But then on the flight over to California where I was visiting, I had this really sharp pain in my side. So I actually took 3 days off. So I haven't ran past 3 days. Just hoping this pain goes away. I felt it again on the flight back over here. So we'll just have to see what it is.
You think it's is it a muscle pain, or is it more internal?
It's internal, for sure. So I've had pain in the past. So hopefully it goes away. I don't know.
What's your
see how it goes.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on blood work? Yeah, I know some people get blood work done every year. I don't know. Have you ever done that?
I've never done. I've done blood work for my iron levels, so I would obviously highly encourage that. But I don't know. I think looking into anything like that is probably pretty good if you can.
Yeah, I doubt it would do anything with your side. I think you're doing the right thing. You just let it rest, and if it's still persistent, then go check it out. But I know I've been hearing a lot of people do that yearly blood work, and I don't have health insurance anymore because I'm not in the Navy, and I didn't want to sign up for whatever Blue Cross Blue Shield, so I did this thing called Crowd Health, and you pay into it. It's I think it's $100 a month, and then it's crowd funds if anything major happens. So if you break your arm or need surgery, they'll send out a request to all the members, and it will get crowdfunded, and you'll pay the lower cash cost instead of the insurance cost. So with that, they do this thing where they'll pay for, included in that is a blood work. So I might actually get that done for the first time, and I'll let you know how it goes.
Oh, good. Well, that sounds like it's pretty good. So yeah, keep me updated on that. I might just join you.
Yeah, I got to figure out. I mean, there's a lot of material out there, but what exactly to look for, and because stuff like that, I get worried about the false positives, like people freaking out because their numbers are off, and then it affecting their mindset. So I just got to make sure I do some research before I go in.
Well, sure.
But I don't know. Some other things I was thinking about this week is, I don't know about you, but the weather out here is freaking awesome. Is it nice in Baltimore? I mean, you were in California, so I'm sure you're spoiled there.
California was good. It was actually raining and pretty foggy, but the temperature was nice. It hasn't actually been too bad recently. This last week we got up and it was pretty warm, and so I got to. Luckily, last week wasn't too awful compared to what it had been, so it was actually pretty nice. So it was nice getting those easier runs done whenever it's a little bit warmer. The cold front came right back through though, and so it's pretty cold when it was cold.
it amazes me the mindset shift. Like it's so much easier for me to actually go and not like procrastinate my run when it's warm outside. When it in the winter, like I don't know how you do it up there in the north, but gosh, that adds a whole nother aspect of the I don't really want to do this because it's so damn cold out there. So I'm happy we got blue bonnets out here now, so it's a good time of year. I don't know about you. You'll see if this affects you, but because I was in Japan for 2 weeks and I came back and my sleep schedule was all screwed up. Uh, usually I never have trouble sleeping at night. It was just laying in bed because not going to sleep, and then during the day I'd get tired and have to take power naps, and so I'm still like this morning. I probably woke up at 2, so hopefully eventually I'll just get tired enough to where it gets back on schedule. But that's definitely, I don't know if you have any tips for that while you train.
Um, we did a lot of traveling in college, and you do, especially on like longer trips, that traveling actually takes a pretty big toll on you. So I always recommend sleeping as much as you can on the flight, to try and get you back in the rhythm of things. But you wanna try to keep your sleep schedule as close to the hours you would be sleeping, even if you were home. But I think, especially moving it and going over to Japan, it'd be tough. But I think you're probably doing the right thing, right?
Yeah, I guess my mindset when I was flying over, I probably should have had that mindset you said, is sleep when I can, but I wanted to stay up. It's like, I'm going to stay up and just power through, and then I'll be tired and then I'll go to bed. But so far it hasn't been great, but I think it just takes some time, but we'll see. And then finally, I don't know if you've seen this. I'm getting pissed at these drivers. They're way too courteous, and I think it's dangerous.
I agree. I hate it. I hate it when people stop for me when I'm running. I want them to keep going, and I'll make my way across the road.
Yeah, or they're like turning into the grocery store or wherever, and I'm like 20 yards away. But they see me, and then they stop in the middle of the road, and then I feel like I need to sprint because this is like they're in a dangerous situation there. And I almost well, my dad when I run with him, he turns his back. He like will not make eye contact and like turns his back to the car, and then acts like it's not there, and then he goes. So I don't know what the best method is, but I the drivers think they're being nice and courteous, but it just makes me angry.
Oh yeah, I completely sympathize with that. I've always just kept on trucking.
Yeah, yeah. I almost got you run over once. I felt bad about that. It was dark, and you definitely got to be cautious because I think jaywalking is a lot of times safer, like going across streets, not in the major intersections, because it's so chaotic, like in the big intersections. And if you can pick and choose your spots, that's probably the safer way to do it. It's not legal, but it's right. Um, but it's an art. I feel like.
Yeah, I've always, they're gonna stop for you, but I found I found that I'll keep running up until I can't keep running and find my own way around them.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's one of my biggest frustrations is people being too courteous with that sort of thing.
hate to see it.
Yep.
Do you have any other takeaways from this week before we get into next week's plan?
Uh, no, not really.
All right. Well, you're driving, right? So I'll talk about next week.
Oh, perfect.
So tomorrow we got a 2 a day, 8 miles in the morning, 4 in the evening. Tuesday you got a 4 mile warm up jog, then a kind of an interval, so 2 sets of a 20 minute at marathon pace, and in between sets do a 3 to 5 minute full recovery, and then a 4 mile cool down. So that recovery can just be standing or walking around, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't completely come to a stop. It's still one of those situations where you kind of want to keep your heart a little bit elevated. That's going to help with your recovery, and then so you're going to keep moving on that one. So I would suggest a light jog, but if you have to walk, walk.
Yeah. Okay. Wednesday, 70-minute long run. Thursday, 2 days again. So 8 in the morning, 4 in the evening. Friday, find yourself a hill, do a little 20-minute warm up, and then do 10 of those hill runs, approximately a minute each. And so if the hill is like shorter or longer, just if it's longer, cut it off at 1 minute and then go back down. But if it's shorter, what I'm going to do, because I don't think I have a hill that I can run up for a minute that's convenient, I'm just going to do it for up and down for 20 minutes. And that should be equivalent, right?
Yeah, and just based off of how long that hill is, and then gauge it from.
I guess maybe a little longer, because the jogging down hills might be. I guess if I stay the same pace, I should do 20 minutes. That's what I'll do. And then a 40-minute cool down run. Saturday is the off day, and then Sunday a 2-hour long run, and then with that one, push the last 10 if you can. And that's it. That's week 15.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Well,
The hill's going to be tough for sure. But that's really the only tough one that I'm seeing.
yeah. I don't like intervals. I don't like pushing myself, so I'll do it, but I dread those.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have the privilege to get up and go run, and I don't know about you. I wasn't affected by any of these bank failures. I know it's pretty dark times out there, a lot of crazy stuff going on, but this stuff we can control. We can go and get our runs in and breathe some fresh air. So gotta look at the brighter side of things right now, I guess.
That's right.
Did you see that Silicon Valley Bank, Silvergate, and then just recently, like today, another bank, forgot what it was called, some New York bank also went under.
I hadn't heard about that. But
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me, really.
Silicon Valley Bank was like the second largest bank failure in history. They're saying.
Really? Wow.
So, all right. Well, that'll do it for the week 14 recap. Thanks again, Clark, for keeping me honest and doing this, because I definitely would not run this much if it weren't for you.
Well, thanks. It's been fun so far. We're actually almost to the end of the training log that we've got. We'll have to see where we're going to go from there.
Just do it again. All right,
Absolutely.
guys. Well, see ya. Thank you for listening to Mike White Podcast. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Mike White Pod, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Y'all have a great day.